You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she happy. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a top in it. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the DNA Podcast. It's your boy D.
It's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
This week we're going to discuss traumas in the Black community and I guess specifically our traumas while growing up. And yes, y'all got niggas that ran about their experiences. So
It's art.
I guess we'll take this by stages, by layers, peel this thing back, and we'll go with like the huge one I feel like people our age is constantly dealing with, and that's parental traumas. I feel like most people agree that their parents are kind of oblivious to the stuff they did.
I think it's willful ignorance.
I don't know which is better, but it's one. I think it's
I think
one of the two.
oblivious is better. Willful ignorance means that you know what you did and then you fail to acknowledge it.
For me, I think oblivious is worse for me because it's like, oh, so you just ignored all that shit.
To me, oblivious is like, I'm just not cognizant that this was traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that this was so bad for you. I think willful ignorance is way worse.
True.
To be like, oh, I know that it's bad for you, but I don't give a fuck.
I think both actually leads to the circle we find ourselves in. Because if you're oblivious, you have no problem to continually do it because you're not aware of it. But I guess at the same time, willful ignorance, you have no problem continually doing it because you don't care. So that's the cycle that I think families find themselves in. And as I've gotten older, for some ungodly reason, I'm like the center of my family. Everybody comes to me with their problems about other family members, and I'm kind of the bridge. I'm talking my mom and her older brother, my mom's younger brother, and my grandma, my mom. Like, for some reason, I'm the guy that finds like the balance between it, and it's everybody said, yeah, it's just easy to talk to you. You're I know you're like 20 something, but you just got the understanding of a guy that's older. Ah, yes. I just don't give a damn. That's what you want to say, or that you're leaving out. But as I'm older, I see the cycle. I see the way that my grandmother acts with my mother, and it's kind of the same with me, but in different instances. And I think my grandmother is oblivious. Like the way my mother tells stories, the way my uncle and aunt tell stories. My grandmother is completely different. Like, it's so different that somebody's lying. That's how different it is. And so I find myself with my mom. My mom is kind of oblivious to lots of stuff to the point of where one of us is lying. And it's her.
I mean, are they lying? And are they lying to themselves? Is the question.
That's what I'm not sure of. So, like, I'm not going to get too deep in my mom and my grandma because they're not here to talk about it. But, like, for instance, my mother and my uncle told stories that they had to get rides from friends. Like, so they did sports. In my family, you can either do sports or you can work. Shit, bro, don't threaten me for a good time. I'm going to go do that sport. But my mom and my uncle would tell stories that they had to find rides with friends or on some occasions walk home because my grandmother was so late. Like, they're talking like if it ended at 6, she'll pull up at 8:30. Late. And this is normal. My grandmother, we tell her the wrong time on Thanksgiving to this day. because she's always the last person to come. Sometimes she come late when we told her early. So we tell her Thanksgiving, oh yeah, we want to be here at 2. We want to be there at 4. What the fuck she pulling in at 5? Like, you were late by your standards of late. But in her stories with my uncle and my mom, she said, I will only come like an hour late. They were just impatient.
I mean, an hour late consistently is bad too. Not good either.
And I think that's what's worse. You make it seem like being an hour late is good when you knew the time that they got off from said thing. But you now is more than an hour late. So you're telling, it's harder for me to believe that you were earlier then, but you just ended up becoming later. Like, so it's like, no, she's lying. She's lying because it's also, you know, when you can tell people's body expressions and their facial expressions when they tell stories. No, this is something that still kind of haunts my mom and uncle because they're serious. When they talk about it, you can tell that there's no doubt in their mind when they talk about it. And so, yes, that's kind of I picked something funny. There's a lot more serious issues. They're just like that, where it's like, it's no way y'all both are telling the truth. One person's one side is evidently lying. And so, yes, with me and my mother is in denial about the neighborhood we grew up in. I grew up in a hood. Hell, the way some people's hoods are described to me, I grew up close to the projects in the hood. And some niggas' hood is just poverty. I had crackheads, trap houses, like police constantly patrolling every 20 minutes. Like, I thought that's what a hood was. Let other niggas tell it. My hood not like that. You know, shootings 3 times a month. I'm doing average. Sometimes it was high, sometimes it was lower. Sometimes there'd be no shooting that month. Niggas ain't make a big deal about it, but like, it's not like niggas threw a picnic, like, 30 days since shooting. But my mom is kind of cognizant of this, but just brush it off like it's nothing. Like, I don't know why you say we live in a hood, because it wasn't. You're aware of these things. Like, she's aware of everything I just said and don't actually deny it. So,
I think it's perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if it was better than what she was living in when she was in the hood, her perspective is that this can't be the hood. It's better than what I had.
Yeah, the way they describe it, I'm doing layers here. If I lived in the hood, yeah, they lived in the projects. Yeah, I'm just being perspective here. Yeah, they're a little lower than me, but it goes back to that fun fact. My grandma claims that that's not the case. She claims that it wasn't that hard. So, you know, I'm trapped in it. I can see it, and so I'm going to try hard not to put my child through it, but it's a constant circle.
Yeah, but, you know, I think older people always think they had it harder than the younger generation. People younger than you, right? So, like, you know, there's the meme of, like, when I was in school, I had to walk to school. I had to walk uphill both ways.
In the snow.
In the snow while it was 100 degrees. Like, there's no way. I had no shoes on my feet, and it was broken glass everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it doesn't mean that school is any easier than it is now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't have to walk to school. I get to take the bus. Sure. But the stuff that I'm learning in school now is way harder.
The expectations of school.
Than what you were learning in basic arithmetic, and I know you are, because when I work with a whole bunch of grown ass adults, and I was trying to walk them through a basic word problem.
No, chill out.
Because I was trying to explain something to them, and I was like, okay, I'm doing like it's a word problem, all right?
Yeah.
And I was walking them through a word problem, and I can just see the bewilderment on their faces. Like, y'all didn't have word problems when you were in school? Like, what the fuck is this?
Nope. Y'all niggas didn't mix English and math together. I'm confused. Bro, I know my shit was next level in about 7th grade. My mom took one look at the homework and told me from that point on, I'm on my own. The math specifically, she tried to help with a little bit of English. Nah, science, math. She ain't do shit with foreign language. But you're still expected to get good grades. Just know I can't help you. But you better go find some damn help. Like, I would never forget that. I would never forget that she tried. She looked at it for about 10 minutes. Nah.
I just, like, that shit is traumatizing. For an older person to belittle your struggles is like, I think, yes, sometimes kids are
stupid,
but also just like, blows out of proportion. It's not as big of a deal as they think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But at least take my concerns somewhat seriously.
Yeah, I think being a kid and being an adult, you fall on both sides of the spectrum, which is bad. Of like, kids overreact to everything, and parents don't react enough to the same thing. There has to be like a happy balance, or you just need to react. You just need to acknowledge the facts.
And sometimes all a kid needs is for you to be like, "Hey, dog, this shit's hard."
Yeah. Hey, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're gonna do something about it.
or at least I don't know what we're gonna do yet, but we can look at it together.
Yeah. And that's how I feel like. I don't know. I can't speak for other communities. I ain't Jewish, ain't white, ain't Asian. No, Asian's pretty bad. But I feel I feel like as Black people, that's a constant struggle of just, since something, they never acknowledge that something can be hard in its own respects.
Mm.
All because it's not as hard as when they did it. Like, school itself is hard. I don't see why you complaining. We had to walk to school and do boom boom like you said. So you getting to school was hard, yes. I am not saying that me riding the bus is difficult. But when we got to school,
were we running the same shit?
Once you walk there and once I got off the bus there, the stuff we learned is significantly different. Why can't you give me that? Well, why are you overlooking that to make this point of getting to school when I didn't say riding the bus was hard. That wasn't the point that I was trying to make the whole time. Now, I'm not, and that's what was like, so me and my homeboy Eric talk about it a lot. We are not saying we grew up in Chirac. We did not do that. But for people to say that we lived in anything but a hood is also disrespectful, because there's people that lived on the other part of town that wasn't allowed to come to our neighborhood for the sad reason. Like, one of our friends lived on this preppy side. Nigga had a big house. His house was as big as one could be without being labeled a mansion. It wasn't a mansion, but it was real damn close. That shit was just a big house, baby mansion. And so we had a party there. And like, his mom knew my mom, knew my mom before we were born. Like, but she didn't know, like, they didn't know who each other was. And so it was like, I'm gonna keep his name withheld. Frank. Frank was like, oh, can I go to Dee's house? And D, where you stay at? Told her where I stayed at. Oh, hell no. Bro, I swear to you, I am not lying by any stretch of the imagination. Eric will back it up. She said it so quick with such little thought. No, you're not going there. I think she started questioning if I was even a good influence to be around. And so, yes, that's how.
So did that? We're laughing at it now, but did that fuck you up? Because I think that would have hurt my feelings a little bit as a kid.
That's not the first time it happened. So this happened in 6th or 7th grade. But I remember This is what fucked me up for it. I remember I had this friend. He was white. I think his name was Eugene. I only think because it's like
Eugene is wild.
you know when something feels familiar but you have no clue for it. I feel like in Piece of My Life Together, like The Hangover, like Eugene has significance.
The Hangover is wild.
And so it's like I don't know if his people was racist or hated the neighborhood I was in, but how I remember it was we was friends for a good minute. My mom met Eugene. I'm talking like this is like kindergarten, first grade. My mom liked him and supported the friendship, but I'll never forget meeting his people. And I told them where I lived at, and they said that we couldn't be friends. Now, I don't know if it's because I was black or because I lived in the hood. But one of those two things set it off, and it was just like, oh. And I never pieced it together. Once again, for some reason, my life is like The Hangover. I'm drawing blanks. It wasn't until like fucking junior year when I'm in my room by myself that it just all came back. Oh, this is what happened. And and I'm stuck. Maybe something else happened after because I forgot about this whole incident. But like, that's the first time that people didn't like, I couldn't be friends with somebody, which I think based off of where I live, I think to cover up probably the worst facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's been other like those. I was ostracized in class about it. Let the white people tell, oh yeah, we're just making jokes. But you kept making jokes based off where I live, and you assumed that I wasn't as intelligent because I lived in the hood. And like RDC made this funny when it's like, oh, hey Jamal, put down a 9. No, they were doing that to me back then.
Well, no.
Don't get angry and shoot up the school. Bitch, you white. You gonna shoot up the school long before I do.
That's absolutely wild.
And I got that constantly. And the other black kids will vouch. The other 2 or 3 that was in the class of 30. But
God damn, that's a big class size.
yeah, my class was typically 20 to 30 people.
20 is somewhat normal. 30 is insane.
Oh well. Once we get inner city school. No, knowing what I know, bro, y'all went to the same dingy ass school as me. Y'all not even the high class whites. You feel me? Like boom, I know I've been ranting, but it's like there's my high school I would never forget. I helped put my high school on the map in Virginia. Because we were nobodies. We were so much nobodies that there was a school called Brookfield. And them niggas was. No bullshit, bro. They are no further from where we're recording to where you live at. They probably was closer.
Up the street.
Yes. Bro, like they were that close to us, but they were like the preppy whites. And one game, it was either my JV or 9th grade year. This when they were riding high. I think they just kind of got off of winning states and this and that. It's tradition that the home team provides the water and the shit for the away team because you don't want them to lug all that shit. Bro, I've never seen it since. Them niggas brought their own shit, dumped our shit, and said that they were too good for our water.
God damn.
I've never seen shit like that, bro. We put an ass whooping on them, so I've never came so close to bashing somebody in the skull with my damn helmet ever in my life. And like the turnaround is so crazy that by the end of senior year, they drinking that water, they shaking hands, and they're I guess other people in my class forgave and kind of forgot. Nah, bro. Y'all the same niggas that said you was too good to drink our water. Like, we doing shit to that water, bro.
Especially if they live that close, we're on the same water system.
We're on the same, unless y'all getting purified water consistently. No, you're getting the same water from the same dingy ass holes in the back. Like, bro, I am being dead ass. And that stuff is kind of like, it's always stuck with me because I know for facts that like people I met here in Charlotte, when they said we struggled the same, no, we ain't struggled the same. I don't deny that being black is hard. Imagine being so level black that other blacks think they better than me. That's how low level I was. I had to prove to other black people that I was of equal stature. So I'm not saying that you ain't struggled the same, but we have. I mean, you have not struggled with the racism or with, I guess, classism. But nah,
Yeah, I think that internal classism that black it's like a very uniquely black thing. I feel like, and it could be other minorities. We're not the other minorities, but like the internal, like to be like we're both black, but I'm gonna look down on you because you're poor black.
and you're only one step above. Like you're a firing away from being where the fuck I'm at.
You're a bad 6 months.
Yeah. And so like I don't know, I am still kind of traumatized by that because I don't feel nobody. I'm not gonna sit here and lie with you. Me and you connect, but I don't feel the same as you because it's just like I don't see how in life I'm ever really supposed to connect with people that's always, in my view, had more opportunity than me. Uh, I look at it, the perfect metaphor is like a race. If we're doing a mile, most people in life had got 2 laps before me, but we finished at the same time. And niggas want to celebrate together. Fuck, I'm celebrating with you, for I actually dusted you. Like even though we finished at the same time, it took you longer to do what I did, and I had to put forth so much effort just to catch up. So that's why it's like I talk shit about privileged people a lot. That's something that I feel like I've ruined friendships and I'm ruining friendships, but I laugh and I tell jokes, but I don't think people truly understand how low at the bottom I was and still feel in my mind.
Do you think you get a sense of this is turned to a psychology episode? Do you think you get a sense of superiority over someone because you went through that, coming from the bottom?
For facts. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am so full of my own shit that when I see people struggling to find a job like me, nigga, you really suck. You didn't even use privilege correctly. You started out ahead and you still can't find a job. Bro, I started out, in my mind, I'm supposed to be struggling this hard because I came from nothing. You had backing and you ended up where I was at. How the hell? And don't let people who grew up in nice households and, great environments, like fall short of me. Boy, I don't feel you whatsoever. Like we knew people in college who had good, households, good upbringings, this and that. Nigga, you couldn't even graduate college. The hardest thing in your life, and you failed at it. All you had to do was go to school. That's all you had to do. All you had to do was just do the right thing. Doing the right thing for me means a whole lot of different stuff. People with privilege can mess up, can do stuff, can get into trouble with the law because they can get chances. No, I don't smoke and I don't do drugs. One, because I don't like that shit, because I don't have the opportunity to fuck up once and keep my life. Like, if I get caught with weed, and like I know it's a slap on the wrist and this and that nowadays, but if I got caught back then, that shit probably would have led me not to be able to go to college. And I'd probably just be in the burg right now, working a 9 to 5. Like, my mom wasn't always in a great position to have helped me if I fucked up. Like, that's the difference. I constantly have to be on alert what the shit not to do to put myself in a bad position.
And I think that's so now we're going to focus on my trauma now. So like my mom was in the military, and like I had that same sense of obligation of not fucking up, or at least if I was fucking up, I can't get caught. So if you know what I'm saying, 'cause there was a time in my life where I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And for no good reason, just because I was a dumb kid.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to move a certain way and had to have a backup plan for my backup plan for my backup plan. Because if I got in trouble, that would affect my mom's career. So I had to move and maneuver. There was plenty of times, like in school, people would straight up like disrespect me. Shit that I would not let slide.
Yeah.
But I had to let this slide at school. I can catch you outside of school when we're walking home. But I can't fight in school.
Yeah.
So I remember like 6th grade, people were trying to punk me. I was a new kid on the block, I had just moved to Hawaii or whatever. I was the only black kid in my class and the only 4 in the school, maybe 5 in the school. And, when you're the odd one out, people try to pick on you. And, they were like actively trying to bully me. And the teacher saw it. The administrator saw it. Everybody knew that was going on. No one did anything. So I just had to let that shit slide.
That'd be the worst. It'd be that way, like when people like I'd be seeing on social media where people be like, "Where the faculty at? Them niggas there. We ain't doing that shit. They probably talk about this shit in the damn teacher room, like at lunch."
Like that shit is just accepted, and it's like, and I do credit me being bullied or them trying to bully me because I didn't let that shit slide for long. But them trying to bully me made me the man that I am today. Like being mentally tough, being able to go into a situation and basically figure out what your weakness is and exploit your weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that in the best way possible. It kind of sounds manipulative, but it can be. It's a two-edged sword.
How the hell are you supposed to win at something? Like that's.
I mean, you can easily use that power for evil.
True. I'm about to say anybody that wins at something always exploited something.
And so, like, you just have to know how to maneuver, and I think that's kind of it's also a thing that black kids, especially black kids with parents who are trying to do something with themselves.
Yeah,
it's just something that you do inherently. Like no one asks you to do it, but you just know this is what I'm supposed to do.
And I think I respect that a lot in general from people because, like, my biggest pet peeve is celebrity kids who just do stupid shit. Bro, you just had to be normal. Like, you just had to just be rich, enjoy your life. And, like, I get that there's pressures that come along with that.
Yeah.
Because you want to be your own person. You want to do this and that. And, bro, you fucking it up for yourself.
I think the problem lies with having, like, being famous, especially at a young age. And then your parents are famous, too. You're always being, and this is something that you experience as a regular person, but to a much greater extent when you're a famous kid.
Yeah. Being
in the shadow of your parents and always being compared to your parents, always being, what I'm saying? My aunt and my mom were star athletes. My aunt went to Chapel Hill to run track. My mom played like 45 different sports in school, like volleyball, soccer, track,
and then
basketball. She played them all. Like she played them all.
Yeah.
And like I was not, number one, was not that fast. Actually was fast, just didn't have a good startup. And then number two, just wasn't inherently strong, like like most boys at my age, I guess. I had to develop that strength. So like, I always felt like the black sheep out of the family because I was not an inherent athlete.
Yeah, I like this rank. You're a good athlete, but your perseverance gets the most out of your good to where you can kind of hang with great. If that makes sense, like you
And
don't jump high.
I don't have, I'm not a freak athlete. I'm never going to be LeBron James. Is what it is.
But I work with little what I work with what I got. I ain't gonna be just showing up out here.
And I'm going to be the best that I can be about it. And I'm going to talk my shit about it.
I think I'm gonna change the word from famous thing because I guess just having a prominent parent.
Yeah.
Because my cousin's the same way. My cousin is finally starting to overcome this. My older cousin, his dad, we call the unofficial mayor of Roanoke. Because, like, I think he
That's
won
hilarious.
4 state titles, 2 in basketball, 2 in football, and he is the guy. He is, like, being associated with him is giving me perks just by being his nephew. But, like, he didn't understand a trauma that he didn't see from the other side. He didn't see that my cousin's name is Keyshawn, that the toll it was taking on him everywhere he went, he was only looked at as Richard's son. I don't say this because he's my cousin. Keyshawn is the best basketball player I've seen with my 2 eyes. And I'm talking like I've seen NBA games in person. They look like they're moving in a certain way with each other. No, Keyshawn looked like an NBA player playing against adults at the time. Like he's 11 playing against niggas in their 20s. And he's just way too dominant for him in everything he does. He's not dribbling too much. He's not taking 100 shots. There's just literally nothing they could do with him. And my uncle never seen it because when he freezes up in front of my uncle, I seen this in real time. We were hooping at the Y, and these are multiple days. We hoop at the Y for like an hour or two before he gets there. And he's this dominant force. Like he's LeBron James, Michael Jordan one. Nick, 20, 30-year-olds is triple teaming him because there's just nothing that can be done. But when my uncle shows up, he reverts back to an 11-year-old trying to do too much. And so it's like he never lived up to potential. He never started varsity ever. Like his senior year, he rode the pond because his dad worked at the school, and all he ever kept getting was, your dad would have done this. Your dad was this. Why can't you do this like your dad? And I think I know for facts it fucked with him mentally to where like he put a gap on himself. I remember watching my uncle play like when I was 6, so he was still kind of in his prime. Like to put this in perspective, I think my uncle's like, how tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
He's probably 5'7".
Oh.
And he could dunk.
Oh.
Like,
God damn.
like, that's why I was like, and if he's not shorter than you, he's your exact age. And I'm talking like he could dunk. Not in-game dunk, but boom. And like, I remember watching him, and I had kind of the same feeling about him. He was just working them niggas. Like, at this back then, I didn't even know basketball, but it just looked like he was moving differently than how other people moved. No, Keyshawn was way better than him. Like, significantly better. And my uncle just did not believe. I think he still doesn't believe it because just something just always happened. But I am the opposite. Pressure makes me great. Like,
well, do you think it's a difference in just you and your cousin, like just y'all mentality, or do you think it's like the way that y'all were raised made y'all different?
I think specifically, so all my people come from Roanoke, but they ended up moving to Lynchburg for some reason. I don't fucking know. I ain't pay attention to the full story. It's a damn story on all it. But my people are nobodies in Lynchburg. Outside of my uncle and his select friend group, I'm talking like before I became D. Wilson in high school, I want shit. I didn't have cousins because any family I would have would be in Roanoke. I didn't have family friends because they're in Roanoke. Like, I was just a nigga at school by myself. So all the stuff I went through was basically on my own until I linked up with my friend group in middle school, basically. Like, all I could ever do was be on my own. So I got used to fighting for my spot. On the flip side, my older cousin, he had all that stuff. He had his dad backing him. His dad enrolled him into sports, and his dad was like basically always there for a shield. But something happened when his little brother was born. My other little cousin, not plenty of little cousins. When his little brother was born, it was kind of like the shield came off of him and went to his younger brother. So now he was just out there taking all the blows that he wasn't ready. Yeah, and he just never grew to take the blows. As to me, when I got to high school, I tell people this all the time. The coach wanted me off the team. He tried his damnedest to get me to quit. Like, he did stuff unfair on purpose. I'm used to people not liking me, treating me a certain type of way. Like, and the coach couldn't fathom why I wouldn't quit. I'm used to getting treated badly. This is actually nothing pretty. This is nothing new to me. And when he saw he couldn't shake me, he loved me. So when I became a beloved athlete, oh, this is something kind of new. Like, when I could do no wrong, and even when I did wrong, people covered for me. Like, this is uncharted waters because I didn't have that. And my cousin kind of just regressed. It was kind of like we kind of swapped
past each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
To where now everything he does is wrong and he can't do anything right. And it's like, and it all comes from his dad. I think his dad's starting to, my uncle, something happened to him. He's more socially aware now of stuff like that. And he admitted to me that, hell, he's surprised that we even like him based off the way that he treated us. But him 3 or 4 years ago was just like my mom. He was oblivious. Like, I've done everything for y'all. Y'all should be a little bit more grateful. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if he read books, watched tapes.
Someone called him on his shit.
And now he's just aware of it and he knows.
And it probably was somebody really close to him. Either somebody he held in really high regard.
Yeah.
Or, someone that he holds, like someone that he knows idolizes him, called him on his shit.
Little did people know. So, like, this is how different we were. My cousin was always just trying to impress him. I was lifting weights to whip his ass. I didn't really care about football. Hell, I really don't care about it now. I just played because, hell, I got big for no reason. So, not my little hits niggas. It felt good doing it. No, I got big and I got skilled at fighting because I wanted, I wanted to beat his ass. I wanted to beat the damn dog shit out of him at one point. But I wasn't going to press the issue to make me look like the bad guy. I was just waiting for the day. And he didn't even know that. But it's like I told him, he came close to one day. I almost, he talked to me sideways when we was at his crib. Almost went, taped up my hands, and told me he got to see me outside. But like he wasn't aware of that. And it was just like, it caught him off guard. Like, you hated me that badly. So freaking much. But like my cousin on the flip side, never had those thoughts. What I would say, my cousin was a good son. He never had thoughts of harming his dad. He never had the boom boom. Bro, I was gonna put it on you. If my mom was my dad, I would have put it on her. I think this comes to being at the bottom, and that's why I don't wish, like, if I could do it over, I don't think I would do it over because it made me. I am confident that if I lost everything today, I could get it all back within a year or two. Nothing I have can be taken away and I can't fight for it back. Some people are the opposite. Some people, if you take it, that shit's gone.
You told the story about your coach, and like I can like really relate to that. My coach, I never had a coach trying to like kick him out the team, nothing like that. But like my teammates were trying to make me quit wrestling, and I was like, I wasn't really in love with the sport because it was my first time doing it. I wasn't really in love with the sport, and I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Mm-hmm. But they were talking shit. I just can't let that shit talking slide. But like me going through the experiences that I went through, younger than that, being bullied, ultimately kind of becoming a shot caller, setting up fights and shit.
A little Don King had it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that made me be like, can't none of these niggas make me quit. If I had no choice and I didn't quit, you can't make me quit.
You feel me? If a nigga's arm is broken and I'm just gone for the rest of the year,
That's one thing.
yeah, that shit. I couldn't do shit no way.
Shit, I actually broke my hand. What year was that? I think that was my first year. I broke my hand and I didn't go get a cast because it would have ended my season.
Mm-hmm.
I just toughed it out.
You probably just
for the last 3 weeks. I just taped I broke it in here, like in my hand. I broke it, and I just taped my hand up and toughed it out, and my hand is still fucked up.
Yeah.
It ultimately was a bad decision. Don't be like me. But it would have ended my season.
And I couldn't give them niggas satisfaction. Do you know that when people ask me, and I be told this a lot, like, how do you know your way's the right way? Or how do you think you're going about stuff the right way? Like, the competitiveness in my mindset, people always try to be like, don't you think you're going too far? I just don't. I don't see it. What you did with wrestling, I don't believe that that's the wrong way. In my heart of hearts, I feel like that's the only way to go about stuff in life. Like, if somebody challenges you, regardless if you care, regardless if you're good at it, bro, you were challenged. It's time to, like...
I think there's a time for... As I've gotten older and more mature in my mentality, I think there's a time for you to be that hard ass that you know, the put your head down, bite your mouth guard, and go type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a time for you to negotiate, or even just walk away.
I think both go hand in hand. Like, I feel like if it's not one, it's the other. So, like, 9 out of 10, you're going to put your head down and grind. But then the 1 out of 10 times, it's just, nah, this ain't worth it. I'm going to turn around and grind
The
in a
other
different
direction.
Yeah.
And there's just a different... I think it's like you said, it's just valuing the effort. Because I can put a whole bunch of effort into this. But is it really even what I really want? No. So let me go ahead and do this instead. I think that's for me.
For me, it's... I always tell people this. If take away the competitive side, I don't think that's me. If I ever, the day that I give up is the day that I stop being myself, because that's been the root of what's kept me going, just in general. That to make it through school, not to drop out, hell, to put up with my mom for so long that she was pissing me off, to not quit football, to make it through college, all the bullying, this and that, just don't give up. Like, it's all been the root. Like, it all derives from there. Now, there's been different stems and different plants to grow from there, and I handle situations differently, but at the root, it's not giving up. And fun fact, that's why Rock Lee is my favorite character, because I felt exactly like Rock Lee growing up, to the point of where, like, boom, this is super nerdy. I don't give a damn. When the Rock Lee first was introduced, this nigga was on top, and they couldn't fuck with him. And niggas just, you kind of hated that, because, like, bro, you OP, you supposed to be that good. And that's how I became. That's kind of how I am now. And so, like, it makes me feel more, it gives me more solace in knowing that people think of me that way. Or they say, oh, well, you're good at stuff. People tell me you're great at everything. You're naturally gifted. You're naturally gifted at everything. It's unfair. And all I can do is just laugh, and I laugh maniacally. And it's like just the surface of, bro, I sucked at everything at one point.
I literally had to had that conversation with my new chef that I just had. He was like, well, how we were talking, because, like, I have this ability to stay calm through any situation. Basically, I just don't. Yeah, I just don't get worked up. And he was like, how do you stay so relaxed? And I was like, like this is like I was trying to tell him like this isn't my natural state. Like I actually am
pissed, angry.
I have these reactions. I just know for myself through my years of experience that when I react, I can never think straight.
Mm-hmm.
I can never come up with an actually good solution. So let me stay calm and think of solutions.
People find it funny when I tell them I'm always mad. I swear to God, that Hope movie fucked me up. I swear I was saying that before that movie, but niggas think I got that from Hope. And it was like, what do you mean you always mad? I've seen everything that happened. People at work, I just did this. It was something. We got into talking about getting to work on time. I'm like, let's say like this is day 6. And I brought up, boom, you've been late for 6 days. No, I haven't. And I brought up, you were 30 minutes late Monday, late this day. How did you know that I'm here early each day? And it was like they jokingly said, and this is where I cracked a little bit, they jokingly said, I'm gonna get here first before D, and that's when I had to bring up, Brie ain't even got here on time, let alone get here first before me. but nobody was, not even my bosses are cognizant of when people get there, which is kind of, once again, I don't respect them niggas. But like, and people are just shocked, like, you paying attention to that? I pay attention when everybody gets here. I'm so competitive, I take pride in beating y'all niggas here. And that's when somebody was like, it's not a game, and that's why you lost. No, it's not a competition, and that's why you lost. So, it's always been a competition in my head, but I'm watering it down to not say it. But when it's brought to my attention, you were late 30 minutes 4 days in a row, right? I was in 20 minutes early those same 4 days, right? Like, what are we doing here? But that's my point of where, like, if I wasn't competitive, I probably wouldn't care. But like, it gets me by. I don't care about the job, but that's what the competitiveness is. What allows me to do the job well, even though I do not give a rat's ass about even if I get fired that day. Sometimes I'll be hoping to get fired, so I don't have to go to fuck back. But I got this little strand of competitiveness, which is rooted in never giving up, that keeps me just doing the best work. I want to be the best employee, even though I care so little about this company.
I know what that's like.
It is like, and I do a lot of stuff like that people just don't know. You're keeping track of that? Yeah, I'm keeping track of me dusting you. Yeah.
Like, like I grew up in a very competitive household. My mom stopped letting me win board games at like the age of 2 or 3. Like she was busting my ass in Candyland, and just did not care about it. And she was like, "If you are better than me, you're winning." And that was the sentiment in the house. And I plan on using that same sentiment with my kids.
I'm gonna bust the hell out of my kids. Truthfully, and I talked about this, and I fear this, as I know, there's no formula to parenting because you're gonna cause trauma to your kids. I think my kids are gonna end up like my cousin because it doesn't matter where I go. Say like I relocate to Orlando. I have a way of just building myself up to my peers and to whatever, to where it's going to be a shadow wherever we're at.
I think there's there's nothing wrong with your kids having a strong parent to look up to or a successful parent to look up to. If anything, that's the better option. You don't want a bum ass parent that the kid has to, deal with.
If you have to choose between one of these,
one is better. The successful parent is better. But so I feel like that's always going to be a potential issue. But you just have to navigate those pitfalls. And you've already seen the outcome.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so let me encourage my kid if he freezes up in front of me, let me talk to him like, hey. Yeah.
It's one of those weird things of just like, I'm to the point where I understand why my uncle did what he did now. Mm-hmm. Because how's he supposed to know? Nobody ever told him he was freezing up in front of him. They just said that he wasn't him. It's like my uncle doesn't have the information that I have.
And I'm not blaming.
Yeah, like he did it on purpose.
I'm saying like, what the outcome could be.
Yeah, I guess I'm afraid to. What if I can't notice it? Like I only notice it because I seen it both sides. But what if my kid does like suck so badly at something? But little do I know this nigga's like that. But he's fucking up in front of me.
The trick is to show up in disguise, or just like not saying I'm gonna show up. Just be like there, and I had them not know. And you get because I remember one time my dad showed up to a wrestling match, and I had no idea he was coming.
Yeah,
and I showed the fuck out. And I didn't notice that he was there until after my match.
yeah.
So, like, it was one of those, you know.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold you. My cousin was doomed because my uncle tried that. But like, I cannot. This is not over exaggerating. My uncle is so much of a rock star. So there's been games we went to my cousin and we don't know if he's there or not. Then my mom get there early. No, there's actually a visible sign of him like walking in because the crowd actually turns. I'm not gonna say the full crowd, but enough people to where you're like, what? Like, like that's how you can tell.
God damn.
And like I was like, I can't put into words how much of a shadow he casts, and I feel like
That's a lot of pressure.
I feel like I'm a failure now. But people love telling me, you're not a failure, this and that. People idolize me now, and I feel like a complete failure. So if I get on to be successful how I want to be, the shadow I will cast will be just so, like, it will be basically an eclipse over any kid. And it's just like, how the fuck do you work through that? I'm not going to be myself.
I think just prepare your kid. Like, I think there's ways to do it. I don't know the exact way to do it.
Yeah, like that's the.
But I think the mere attempt of trying is better than not trying at all. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So like, at least if even if they don't live up to to their fullest potential because of your shadow, at least you tried to let them have their own shine.
Yeah, I'm about to say like that's why I was like, no, I gotta be hard. Being hard is the only way. Because they're gonna think I'm hard for no reason. But it's just to like what if I can get that Rock Lee into them, basically that dog, that sense of wanting to be more. I know, like I think that's what if I can get the dog in them, I won't have any worries.
Mm.
But if they don't have that, oh, this is gonna be.
But some people just don't have it, and
I don't even understand that. Like,
I won't say there's nothing wrong with not having the dog in you, but some people just don't have it, and it's not even a like way they were raised. That's just their personality. Their personality is docile.
Bro, I think having a dog in you is trauma. I've seen plenty of different people not have it in them, and I cannot find like a corresponding same thing that happened to all of them. But it's just it would be a lie if I told you every nigga from where I'm from has a dog in them. This is true. Like every nigga in the hood or projects does not have the dog in them because they're okay with just recreating the circle of being in the hood or projects. But I feel like niggas in the hood have higher dog than niggas not in the hood. It doesn't make sense.
People who have had hard experiences are more likely to have that dog.
That if the percentage is 30% of people in America that live in lesser neighborhoods have dog in them, I would say 10 to 15% of kids in not lesser neighborhoods, I don't know the opposite saying, have that dog in them.
Affluent? Is that what you're looking for there?
I guess we can go with that. Rich niggas. And it's just like, I just don't know. I don't know if it could be trained because I didn't necessarily have it. I just wanted, even still now, I have a tear in my personality. Mm-hmm. Well, many tears, but I just want to be a cloud. I just want to go about life, not be noticed, and just drift by. I just want to drift by in life stable.
But I think that's an innate human desire, is to not have to deal with conflict. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think that's like built into our DNA. So I don't think people. Well, at least I think most people,
Normal people.
most normal people, don't go out and seek conflict because they like conflict. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean conflict like, having to work a shitty ass job. No one seeks that out. Everybody wants the dream
I
job.
swear to God. Nobody seeks to have multiple marriages. Everybody hopes that the first time you get married is the only time you need to be married.
Unless you're a fucking sociopath.
Naruto worked out. Like, Naruto opened up a lot for me because, like, I think that Rock Lee thing, like seeing his backstory against Gaara, kind of changed my life because I understood what it meant to be a loser and a failure and to just keep going. But also, a Shikamaru thing got me too. Bro, I just want a wife. I don't want her to be too cute. She can't be ugly. Like, on a scale from 10, bro, I'm okay with her being a 5. Bro, I could have modest children. Do I prefer for them to be top of everything? Yes. But make my life easier than niggas average. Like, I felt that on so much of a level of just like, yeah, I feel that way. Even to this point of, and look at what I did. I put forth effort, and now I'm here. Yeah, I be feeling. Why the hell did I put forth so much effort?
I feel like sometimes when you put forth effort, it's just so much more stress. I just want to cruise.
When I'm at work, so no bullshit, I hate my job so much. Sometimes I'd be going through my whole life quickly in my mind. This is what I get for one more out of my life. I said that one time to my boss, to Mike POV, and he just laughed. He was like, bro, what the fuck are you thinking about? Yeah, this is what I get for wanting to be more than a nigga in the hood. I always circle back to that thought of just, damn, up to this point, it's not worth it. It was not.
I do this to myself.
I chose career over romance. Nigga had no career, no romance. Like, this cannot be the life that I chose. This cannot be what putting forth effort has done. I could have just been your average nigga that worked at motherfucking Kroger. Man, made my decent living, went home, smoked weed, had a kid, and just chilled. Damn. That seemed a little bit good. That seems a little bit better than going to this damn job. But then there's the other me that's uber competitive. And it's like, nah, can't do that. Nigga, I'm to be running that Kroger.
So for me, like, my grandma's probably the hardest working person I ever met in my life.
Older people is, without a shadow of a doubt.
And then, like, my mom has that same kind of, hard work ethic personality.
Yeah.
So, like, I had no choice but to be the guy who goes into work and does the absolute best job that he can do.
Sometimes
I don't have it. Like, I remember there was one time at my old job, Cypress, where I was like, I'm just going to do my job and that's it. And, like, it was, like, physically making me ill to do that.
It sucks to be ass on purpose or average.
I was like,
I'm literally going through that with work right now. I'm not being ass, but I'm not appearing. Like, they got me penciled in for dates. It's like, oh yeah, we really need you. No. You haven't shown me the respect up until now. So my appearances are going to be limited. Like, basically, when I need to work again, I'll be there. But I'm not going to be there because you need me. Yeah, like, I'm not used to doing that and leaving the team behind. Because, like, I'm getting text messages from coworkers like, damn, bro, where you at? Or like, damn, we really miss you, this and that. And it makes me feel bad that the people who I feel like I am.
abandoned.
Yeah. But, and this is uncharted water for me. Because I normally show up just for my team. But, I don't know. I see don't even want anything. I think that's the overarching point of you want them to promote you to supervisor. I mean, they should have been and done that. You want a pay raise? That should have been and happened. But I don't even necessarily want that anymore. Because when I get that, they're going to expect more than what I'm willing to give. And so it's like, I'm torn. That's how I know I really hate this job. I need to get the fuck away. It's cold. It's killing me.
It's cold.
It's a cold. Bro, I blinked 3 times through this bitch. Y'all save me. But to circle back to our trauma, we touched on a lot of stuff growing up and the stuff affecting us now. Well, kind of affecting us now. Let's talk about social media. Because I feel like we haven't talked about that. And that is doing a lot of damage.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing, especially for young people, is, it's the old saying of keeping up with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
But you were originally you were just competing with your neighbors, right?
Being with niggas in school.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But now you have to keep up with billions of people around the world, and and seeing them, look their best, dress their best, their utmost success, and constantly comparing yourself to that is damaging. Like I a couple months ago, I was dealing with that, me comparing myself to people, and people that I went to I had culinary classes with in high school. They're one of them has a private chef business, and he's doing it big. He travels all around North Carolina. He's doing events. He's doing all this stuff, and it's like, damn, why am I not where he's at?
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized, hey, you just went down a different path. You went the corporate route, and you are basically where he's at in this corporate realm.
Yeah. When we started talking in pronouns, I was like, nigga, you went down the corporate route. Oh, well, you talking to you?
Yeah, so he went down the private chef route, and I went down the corporate route, and I am, I'm where I really want to be at. If I continue down the corporate route, I'm actually way ahead of where I should be at, statistically. So it's one of those, I had to really sit down and talk to myself, hey dog, you're doing good for yourself. So, lay off of it.
I think that's why you need that dog in you. That's why I was like, I just don't see a world of moving forward not having it and you being successful. I mean, you could goof and get lucky off social media,
mm-hmm.
but that stuff you have to deal with. You can't not see people doing better, seeing people who are same level as you ascend faster, or seeing people, younger than you do more than where you thought you'd be at. It's just about how you respond to it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that it's all negative. Yeah. I just think sometimes the negatives outweigh the positives.
I think everything is negative, but you need to find positive in it.
Mm.
Because what I mentioned, that is bad, but the dog in me is, I've seen, once again, people my same age I went to school with do this or that. Man, I'm better than them niggas. I can start doing more. Whatever I'm doing now is not enough. Because in my head, I'm better than him, and he's there. So I need to go. If they're there and I think I'm better than them, well, shit, I need to be here by that time. And that's how my mind works. That's why even I say I'm better than people. Sometimes I don't even believe it, just to keep me going. Because the first step of achieving something is believing it. So if I don't see it, I don't have nothing to reach for. So it's kind of boom, if I was a hooper and made the NBA, and niggas used to talk about, oh, what do you think about Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron? It's okay. But for real, I get on their ass.
I think, you know what I'm saying? what was that light skinned nigga that was he was talking all that shit about LeBron recently and he played for the Memphis.
Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were giving him shit about, him talking shit. But I think it was good.
I respect
it because if I'm not talking it, if I'm being uberly, humble.
Oh my God, this is LeBron, bro. It's just a blessing to be playing against.
No, I gotta come in here and bust his ass.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It gives me something to work for. I don't like. That's why I said I think LeBron calls this little soft ass shit in the NBA. Nothing's wrong with having respect, but like how niggas was just in an uproar, like, oh, you don't talk to LeBron like that, nigga. This is sports, boy. The stuff that he said in the media, he's saying much worse on the court. I swear to God, bro. I could make one basket. Don't let me make that opening basket. Yeah, nigga, this is my fucking court, nigga. I'm king, nigga. like I'm going to talk because talking, like now I gotta back it up. Now it's no hide. I said it, now I gotta stand on it.
Yep.
I'm used to standing on it. If standing on it makes me fucking achieve things that I didn't even think I was capable of doing. I'm not saying that I can hang with LeBron, but it's like. Once again, having that dog in you, I don't see how you can be in awe of LeBron and beat him.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't see a world where that happens. You want to know niggas that are in awe of him and that actually can't beat him? It's the Warriors. That's the reason why the Warriors have to go out and get the best nigga on the planet. Well, one of the top niggas on the planet just to do away with LeBron. Because, like, this is what don't make sense to me logically if niggas had that dog in them. When they were 7-3-9 and LeBron did that down 1-3 and made that comeback, and niggas were like the Warriors can never beat LeBron again. You do know when you're saying that he made a 1-3 comeback, they beat him 3 times. You're like, y'all make it seem like niggas just put up the score and we worked from there. Them niggas had to do that. Yeah. But when I see them niggas, I think Steph is the only one that doesn't. Is it in awe of LeBron?
Yeah.
But when I see those...
Because Steph sees himself like, I'm the best shooter on the fucking planet.
I am that nigga too. Like, you that nigga, but I'm that nigga too. The other niggas are in awe of that nigga, and they start... Draymond's a dick rider. Straight from the... Straight like it.
He always gave me fake tough guy vibes.
There's a clip going around after they lost Game 6. Steph is pissed. Like, you could tell on his face. This nigga Draymond hugging, happy as all hell, hugging LeBron. Like, yeah, boy, I see you. Like, you did your thing. This and that. You could be respectful. And like, this is what I hate. Hell, the NBA players act like they don't know what niggas be meaning. Like, oh, they want the media to create fake beefs. No, I want you to care. You can storm off the court and text LeBron, hey, you played a hell of a game, and it's not any bad blood.
Yeah. But
damn, the way that they were hugging, bro. Of course, LeBron hugging you, I just bust y'all's ass. I talk a lot of shit about him being an unfair sport, but I'm the Tom Brady approach. I'm up out of here, bro. You ain't gonna beat my ass. I don't give a fuck if it's about one. They ain't gonna blow my ass out and think I'm gonna stay here. I'm out of here, bro. Like, that's having that dog in you, and it's like I can tell them niggas. Golden State should have won more. I think theoretically in a vacuum with talent, they did need KD to beat LeBron. But like they're in awe of that nigga. Like when you're in awe of something, you're never going to surpass it because you look at that as the milestone. If that makes sense. Like, shit, I'm never gonna reach that. I can get close. If I get close, that's good. And so, yeah, that's this circled a long way, but it's social media for me. It's like, don't let them niggas be the end all be all. Them niggas had idols. Idols had idols. And most of the time, you hear it all the time. When niggas succeed, they were just doing their own shit. Obviously, they had outside motivation, but just...
So, to kind of pee off the idols thing, I kind of don't have idols. And I say that because... the people that I idolize are like regular niggas.
I'm about to say you idolize Adesanya.
he's my favorite fighter, but I don't put him on a fucking pedestal like he's the next Messiah.
Yeah, you don't. It's funny because you don't do stuff because he does it, but if people didn't know you, you're kind of him in average form. And I think that was your pull to him.
Yeah, well,
because
he's just a regular nigga. Me and him are very alike. That's why I like him.
Yeah,
but for me, it's like I don't idolize people because like all these people are just they're regular niggas, and I especially mean that with like celebrities and rich people,
especially like weirdo ones that don't do shit like Kim Kardashian. I find it like
weird.
So weird.
But like I think there's like America in specifically, but the world in generally has a problem with celebrity worship, and like for me, it's so weird to deify a regular nigga that eats shits and breathes like I do.
Yeah,
like I just can't. Like you're just a regular guy. Like nothing's really that special about you. Like even LeBron. Like LeBron is a generational talent, a multi-generational talent
at basketball.
Basketball.
I think that's why. I think that's what gets me. Like you need to put in preference. People hype him up like he can do everything. No, if he could have played another sport, he would have. I don't think
he has. So
he would not be LeBron.
Yes.
At another sport.
I think he would be. I think if LeBron went and did UFC at a young age or fighting at a young age, he probably would have been. He probably easily could have been as good.
We hope that he be more than good.
I'm saying he would. Yeah. He would be a number one contender.
But it's very likely that he could have just been good. Like it's very likely that he just. Was good at it.
We saw it with John Jones. Like John Jones was a good football player, but the boy could wrestle his heart out.
I actually didn't.
And then he became a fighter.
I expected that nigga played other sports, but
well, his brothers was in the NFL.
In the NFL, like yeah. I know that, but it's like I've never actually seen that nigga do anything else besides whoop niggas' ass.
Well, he played football. He was like pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Wrestled, was great at it.
Was extremely great.
Stayed on the path.
And I think I keep saying it. I think having that dog in you will get you. So if that makes sense, so far, I think luck affects being great because it's like so I idolize people, but like they're not my gods. But they have been like seeing them do it makes me know that I can also do it. But like,
I for me I put that in a different mindset for me. Like I can be inspired by you and not idolize you.
Yeah, I get that. I'm a little bit more than inspired, but like Skip Bayless, he a meat muncher. He swear up and down Tom Brady could do other shit. Like yeah, Tom Brady would have put his mind so he could have been one of the best golfers. No, that's going too far. He has that dog in him. I'm not saying that he couldn't have made it to the pros, but do you know how many people are in the pros that aren't the best? That like LeBron James, I don't doubt that he could have played football in the NFL. To say that he would have been one of the top 5 players, so much has to go into that. Like sometimes you just got to be lucky in the right situations.
I don't think he has the speed to compete with the top 5 players, depending on what position you're putting him in.
I know basketball is different than football. I don't know. Seeing the way that nigga acted in basketball, no. I don't think he would have wanted to keep doing that football shit.
I'm not sure he has the toughness in him.
Yeah, he's a tough basketball player. I will not take that away from him. Shit, that rings pretty low in toughness of sport. I mean, I guess being a tough basketball player put you above a tough golfer. But does that put you in the same realm as a tough NFL player, a.k.a. Lawrence Taylor? Do it put you in the realm of a tough MMA fighter? Does it put you in like we got to be realistic about these things? I'm not saying that he couldn't, but the over exaggeration. He would be LeBron James of football if that's what he chose to do.
And that's the deification of people. Let's be serious here.
There's a reason why people pick what they do. Because they know this was my best chance of doing it.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing, and I think it's nothing wrong with being great at one thing, being so great that you get paid for it. But it just, we got off topic on Diddy. These niggas is weird. but
I think, to circle back, I think that instills a certain level of trauma on young people in particular, but all people in general.
Yeah. I think this just came up in one of my mentions. Savannah James did an interview, basically how she just wanted to be a good housewife because LeBron was doing everything else. Everything else is just like making money. Basically, being a housewife is pretty hard. But it's like
in comparison,
yeah,
actually,
like
it's a lot of work.
I'm not downplaying it. Like LeBron James' role is the hardest of it too. But it's like a bunch of women are kind of against it. Not saying all, saying a bunch. That's not even a percentage on that. But somebody was like, yeah, these bitches want to be basketball wives. They want to be baby mamas. They idolize people like Ari. I think her last name Fletcher. They don't even make sense. Like, they're like, you want to idolize a person who's famous because they were fucking somebody else, basically. And it's like, that's your peak? That's your want to get to?
And my thing is like, with her wanting to be a good housewife, if it works for her and it makes her happy and it works for their relationship, why the fuck do I care?
Well, and that's why it's just like, just be yourself. Hell, I bet she has businesses on the side.
Yeah.
Like, I bet she does stuff on the side because I don't just believe she's been waking up for the past 20 years. Just dealing with the kids, staying in the crib, and Oprah's off the air, so she ain't watching Oprah no more. Watching Ellen.
I mean, even if she is doing that, like maybe she doesn't have any businesses. I'm sure she has a hobby.
She's doing something.
She's doing something that she enjoys. She has all the money in the world to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's doing something that she enjoys.
And that's pre-baked trauma. Like I'm not necessarily mad at Kim Kardashian. She took lemons and made lemonade. Sex tape got released of her, and she became a star ever since. But it's like, let's not act like she's more than what she is. Oh yeah, her alone is an entrepreneur. Not gonna hold you. She made the Kardashian name a brand. She put her peoples on, and they've been milking that shit ever since. But let's not act like the other niggas got on because they were greats.
Especially the two youngest ones. Hey, home.
Basically, anybody outside of Kim is just hoeing. And that's why it's like a rift between, like, I didn't know this, but like Rihanna has a beef going on against them, but it's subtle. Rihanna low-key beefs with a whole lot of people I didn't know. I had to watch YouTube videos. But it's like, motherfucking Travis Scott bitch.
I know she's beefing with Kylie.
Kylie's constantly stealing her ideas and constantly basically want to be in competition with her. But it's like she wants to be in competition for youngest or like most self-made entrepreneur. But it's like it's not even a competition. You're DQ. You're not even self-made.
You build your brand. You already had a brand to start off with. You know, you were
rich before you were born.
You were rich before you were born, and then you had you know what I'm saying, you had a TV show at the age of like 10.
And it's like she's blatantly stealing Rihanna's shit. Like, I'm talking like the Fenty line dropped something like 1 month. Like, I'm talking like, let's say a specific color, like concealer. I don't know, I'm that bitch, I don't wear that shit. Kylie's cosmetic line dropped the same shit. Different name like a month later. And like, she's wearing the same clothes. And it's like she wants so badly to compete with Rihanna, but this is just be yourself. I guess it's to the point, it's nothing wrong with being rich, being born rich. Hell, we all had a choice. Our kids will come up rich. But don't kid yourself. You're not Rihanna. You never will be.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you could
just be the best you that you could be. But maybe you're not shit. That's the problem.
If you focus on yourself, you could rival somebody like in the industry. Basically, it's like Elon Musk can never be LeBron James. Regardless of how much money Elon Musk has, he will never rival LeBron James in like fame. You think people overseas like really know Elon Musk? Like,
Yeah. He's the richest man on the planet.
Oh, I didn't think niggas in China and shit really gave a damn about shit like that.
He just built a factory in China.
Shit. But like, Elon Musk isn't on here just trying to. I guess he has more money than LeBron, but he's not trying to discredit LeBron. Like, oh, you know, nigga, hoop. You know, I could have hooped too if I wasn't out here building Tesla. Like, look that nigga. He got fame and power from just being him, from just fucking building cars.
Yeah.
And he found it on his own. Just do your line. Hell, you know, you might do something. If doing you
on his own is shaky. There's some shit about Elon Musk, but we won't talk about that.
You worried about being other folks? Just be yourself. I think Kylie is a part of the trauma of like social media, being told constantly that she's like didn't come from the bottom. Like it's, I've noticed plenty. Boom, same friend. Kylie Jenner ain't gonna burn out like he. Same friend whose parent was like, "Oh hell no, you can't go to the hood, can't go to my crib." His life is in such disarray. It's probably worse than any point of my life. But like, I don't feel sorrow, and I'm never going to help because you had this fixation on being at the bottom. Like he would tell us back then, "Oh yeah, even though I live here, my life is just as hard as yours." Like me and Eric, come on, bro. Like we not saying your life's not hard, but when you bring up it's as hard as ours, we gotta laugh at you. So we gotta laugh at you. And nigga, we're poor. You're having parent issues. I have parent issues too, and I'm poor. But like he had such a deep fixation on it that like that's where he's at now. He's in the worst neighborhood with basically nothing, in and out of jail. And it's like he was just so fixated on proving he had such a hard life that his life became hard. And even me and Eric is just like, bro, this is stupid as shit. Even though we make jokes about you, and we did not help, even though we made rich kid jokes about you, we would rather have your life than ours. And it's like, and I guess that's part of the trauma, and that's what Kylie's doing. You want so badly to compete with this girl from fucking nowhere, Trinidad. I don't know if Trinidad's the state or if that's the city.
Trinidad is the country, yeah.
Oh, country, yeah. From nowhere, Trinidad, so badly on who came up, you know, from nothing. Why? Why does it bother you so much to be a rich kid? Well, why does it bother you so much that you've never had to struggle the way that we did? I've came to the realization that everybody in life struggles differently. Like there's different, rich kids have their different struggles of dealing, you know, with parent success and being their own person. I will never have to worry about that, but they don't have to worry about them. No presents for Christmas, lights possibly turning off, rationing food. Like, it's weird. To be honest, it's fucking weird to me. It's weird when people try to get into a contest with me about who had it worse.
The Oppression Olympics?
It's so fucking weird, bro. I don't take pride in saying this shit.
It's like, this shit was tough.
Like when people try to get into a contest with me, or some people have heard the podcast, it's like, damn, I didn't know your life was hard like that. I don't take pride in saying that shit out loud. It's kind of depressing.
I say it so other people can feel good and relate to my struggles and then move on.
Because people see the finished product, and some people think, I don't know why people think this, but some people see the finished product and think that I was a silver spoon kid. Oh, no, not that. That's disrespectful to me. Like, things always been easy, or you've probably always been good at school, or you've always been beloved. No. Had to fight for that. That's true now. That I don't deny that is true now, but yeah, no, I had to work for my shit. Anybody can achieve anything if you work for your shit. So yeah, I don't get this fixation on being want to be poor so badly. This poor mindset, and this is the opposite of social media, because like social media, everybody flex dollars and flex being rich, but some niggas want to flex struggle.
I
struggled too. I had to eat ramen noodles too sometimes.
okay.
Nigga, I had to eat ramen noodles for a month. What does that mean? Nigga, I got money now and I still got noodles. I'm a lazy son bitch.
Yeah, I don't know why people like partake in the oppression Olympics. It's like, but we, you know, that's something that you see between races, not only just like, you know, classes of people,
Yeah.
but like, you know, it's like when white people say, "Oh, the Irish were slaves too." No, y'all were indentured servants. There's a difference. You could work for your freedom, and then most of y'all did work for your freedom, and then y'all oppressed us. So it's not.
The difference from American slavery is it's unprecedented how you treated niggas. Like other people had slaves, but they were treated kind of
Like humans?
decently. Yeah. Nah, it's unprecedented the way that shit was here. Bro, can't we just? No, I don't do that with racists. Jewish people be trying to think they own something. Boy, don't make me get on your ass when it comes to this history. No, please. What you got in your back pocket? The Holocaust? That's cute. Imagine all the people in the Holocaust times 10. That was slavery. Like, that's cute. What else you got? Apartheid? No, that ain't it, but real close to it. Like, right. Niggas is weird. This is why I stay in the crib. What Drake say? You never see me out. I live in my workplace. Literally do. This is where we work at. I literally live in this bitch, bro. Hey, if this shit ever blow up, you'll catch me walking out about a few times. But when niggas get wild, like, nope, heading back to the studio. You have anything more to say with trauma?
No, I mean,
I feel like this could make a good part 2. But like we left out a lot of stuff.
For sure. I mean, I feel like, you know, even with the guest, but I feel like my closing notes is respect everybody's traumas, from kids to grown adults' traumas. Respect it, listen to them, and I don't want to say validate, but you know, give it the respect that it deserves. You know what I'm saying? So that maybe we can break the cycle of the traumas.
I have nothing more to say. I agree with that. And tell us your traumas down below. Tell us if you agree on what you did with those shit down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell off in the corner to get notifications more like the video.